In this lesson, we're going to start to get set up to do some modeling for some MEP components. We'll start with HVAC and probably follow that with some piping and plumbing, and then on to some electrical stuff. So I'm going to start by clicking on the mechanical template file here under projects. We do have some videos earlier on and some specific series on setting up these template files in here, but by default they should be here, and I'm using Revit 2013. If you don't have Revit 2013, you're watching this video, just make sure you use the mechanical default system template file. If I hover over this, it'll actually tell you it's the mechanical default.rte. So click on here, starts up a new project and uses that template file. And we've got some views set up in here, some floor plans, some ceiling plans, etc. We've got some elevation. So what we want to do is just add in some diffusers or some air terminals from the Systems tab. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our tabs up here. So we're going to go up to our big purple R, and we're going to go into Options, and then we're going to go to User Interface, and we're going to make sure that we have the Systems tab turned on, which is this guy over here. We don't need the analysis. We don't need electrical or piping or site or any of the site or massing or energy. So the only tabs we really have turned on is the architectural and the system tab. That's all. And then hit OK. There's the architectural, there's the system, and then these ones are typical across all disciplines, so they're not variable in there. So on the System tab, we're going to be drawing some equipment, a VAV unit, some air terminals, and we'll be doing some duct work and stuff like that. So the first thing we want to do before we even draw anything is on the Systems tab here in the mechanical, there's a little flyout here on that panel. If you click on there, it goes into the mechanical settings, and you want to have a look at some of these default settings in here. So right now it says supply, return, and exhaust for mechanical. So inside of here we can say, okay, the supply main ductwork is going to be rectangular with radius, elbows, and T's, so rounded corners and T's. And so you can pick the duct type off of this list, okay, the default. You can always change that after the fact. Rectangular duct, radius, elbows, and taps. Offset from the level by default is 9 feet. So if you were drawing on level 1, this would be 9 feet up above that. And that's the center line of where that ductwork is. So supply air, main branch. Main is this information. The branch information has a little bit more for supply air. Again, duct type is here. Offset. Flexed duct type is set to be none. We're going to go in here and set the flex duct type to be flex duct round. So that's the last segment of ductwork that goes down to the diffuser is going to be a flexible duct. Maximum length for the flex duct, that last little segment, is 6 feet. So it'll make it a maximum of 6 feet, and then it'll put a transition into the rectangular ductwork. Okay, then these are our rectangular sizes, so you can go in here and delete and add these in here. So when you're sizing and stuff, if you look at some of these and you definitely say we never use this size, you can go in here and just pick on here and delete the size if you want, because these are the preset duct size. Oval sizes, these are the sizes. Once again, you feel free to go in and get rid of all these sizes that you feel you're not going to use. And then round ductwork. So this is round, oval, rectangular, and then the conversion elbow angle increment is 1 degree. 1 degree increments. And duct settings. Okay, so we've got some information in here. Air density, air velocity, rectangular duct size separator, you know, where it says 10 by 12 or whatever. Suffix is set to be none. You can put a suffix, you can put a prefix. There's your diameter symbol, duct connector, separator. So this is just some added little text and stuff. And then main and branch, you can go in here and do the same thing with return air and exhaust air. So exhaust air, main, and branch. So we have the 3 air system types, and we have the main the main trunk of the ductwork, and then the branch, which is the smaller segments of it, and some information. So just take note of these. We definitely want to go in here, I would say, and change this flex duct to be flex duct. I'm not sure why that's not set, but this is the type. Otherwise, it'll just try to use rectangular ductwork all the way through. Okay, so have a look inside of here. Hidden line settings. This is the line type to use when it is going to represent hidden lines with MEP objects, and there's going to be some little gaps where it's going to sit off of the object. So draw MEP hidden lines is turned on. We can talk about that a little bit later. So hidden lines, duct settings, okay, conversion information, main for your 3 air systems, branch for your 3 air systems, and then all your sizes. So that's one thing that you have to kind of have a look, and this gets saved in the template file. So once you set this up, you only have to set it up once. And the one we're going to be dabbling with a little bit is this offset, because it depends on what level. If we create a level at the ceiling, we don't need this to be 9 feet above the ceiling. It only needs to be, you know, 1.5 feet above the ceiling. So this is good if you're drawing from level 1 and you want it to be 9 feet up. So we're going to probably change this number as we go. So mechanical settings, okay? And starting with the right template file. So once we have this all set up, we could go in here and say save as, and then say save as a template file, and then save this somewhere, and then we can, you know, call it our company standard template file, and then we don't have to set that stuff up again. Okay, so that's our mechanical settings there. If we go back to here and we go back to our options, and let's turn on the interface for the electrical and the piping. Okay, so not the analysis, just the system tab. Okay, so watch what happens. Now on system, we're going to have HVAC, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical. Okay, so the system tab has all the MEP stuff. So if we go to plumbing and piping, we're going to see it's going to have some settings in there for piping stuff. You'll see it's got the mechanical stuff here, but it also has piping stuff. Conversion, elbows, main, same thing, hydronic, sanitary, vent, domestic, hot water, fire protection, and branch information. Same thing for the different systems. So again, we have offsets and pipe type. So this is piping settings, okay? So that's under here, and then we can click on here and we'll see electrical settings. So hidden line, wiring, you know, wiring information, wire sizes, okay? Temperature, insulation type, material, okay? So wiring, connection factor information, ground connectors, wire types, okay? For electrical people, this all makes perfect sense. Okay, voltage definitions, okay, pretty straightforward. Distribution systems, okay. Cable tray settings, okay, some information there. Rise drop, 1/8 of an inch, okay. Single line symbology, no outline for crossing, drop symbol, cross, no outline. So rise drop, 2-line symbology and single line symbology. Piping sizes, or sorry, cable tray sizes, rise drop for conduit, single line symbology, 2-line symbology, sizes. We've got our load calculations. We can go in and click on here and do your own custom stuff or tweak this if you want. So load classifications, okay, and panel schedules. So some information on panel schedule. So this is all the electrical settings. So this should be set up and saved probably in a template file. So we've got electrical settings, we've got plumbing and piping mechanical settings, and we've got regular mechanical, just the mechanical stuff here. Okay, so a little bit of redundancy, I think, is if you go to plumbing and piping, I think you're going to see the mechanical stuff as well. Okay, this stuff in here is the same as this stuff over here. In fact, yeah, they're both the same to me. Duct and piping, and if I click on here, it's the same, duct and piping. Okay, so these two buttons both go into the same dialog box, whereas the electrical one is a little bit different. So get familiar with this stuff. This should all be saved in your mechanical template file so that when we start to draw, all those default decisions have already been made.